Thank you. I just wanted to clarify, because I know I've heard the question 8 or 9 times. Ken, I just want to understand it clearly. You got this 4,400 number from the city of Brisbane, is that right?
Yes, from the city's process.
Okay. It wasn't fed you from a developer.
I've never spoken to the developers, nor
Okay.
the staff.
So it came from city documents
Correct.
in the city of Brisbane.
Correct.
That submitted a PDA application, which was granted.
They submitted a PDA application several years ago.
Right.
This process has been going on for several years, and one of the alternatives is a developer alternative. It
Okay.
did not come from the developer. It was not selected because it was a developer's alternative.
Okay, understood. Thank you. I represent a city that has, among the major cities in the United States, the worst jobs to housing ratio among the 40 largest cities in the country. We're the only major city in the United States that actually has a smaller daytime population than nighttime population. And I am very acutely aware of the concerns people have about the fiscal challenges of bearing the burdens of housing. But we're allocated more than 35,000 units in the RENA allocation, and we're going to do everything we can to build every one of those units. And we're going to do it because we are collectively facing a crisis of affordable housing, a crisis that is making it impossible for your residents' children to be able to live here in the Bay Area. It is a crisis that is making traffic intolerable for any of your residents because jobs are located in job-rich communities and housing is located elsewhere. And as long as smaller job-rich towns are not willing to take their responsibility for building housing, we will continue to perpetuate what exactly we have now, and it will be exacerbated. A crisis of affordable housing, traffic will continue to be worsened. I was actually inclined to vote against this plan because I don't think it goes nearly far enough, with not nearly enough teeth, to force cities and jurisdictions to bear the responsibility for housing that we are clearly not bearing as a region. I am going to very reluctantly vote for this because there is a CASA process that will be underway. I know already staff is working on it and we'll be convening a board soon. I look forward to doing what we can to step up as a region to do what we need to do to house people in our region. But I have to say I'm disappointed by the dialogue I've heard so far because we've got a long way to go to address this crisis, and I haven't heard a lot of discussion about the crisis.
Thank you. Commissioner Josephowitz?
Thank you for those words, Mayor Liccardo. I was going to say something very similar but less eloquent. I think we have a real crisis here as a region. We need to address it as a region, and I think even though staff has taken huge steps in, especially with regards to the action plan, in putting in place some real commitments for what we're going to look at going forward in the next year, in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years, not necessarily wait until 2040. I still don't think under the best case scenario envisioned in this plan, we're going to have a region where my 17-month-old kids are going to know that they can go to school and that there'll be enough teachers who can live in the Bay Area, live in San Francisco, to be able to teach them at that school, and that if they ever grow up and want to be cops or firefighters or teachers, that they'll ever be able to find a place to live here on their own. And but I do think that it is a step in the right direction, and I do really appreciate staff working closely with the advocacy community to sort of make this plan and the action plan more robust. And I'm going to be supporting this as well, and I hope this is kind of the start or sort of a continuation of a lot of work, but that through the CASA process and otherwise, we can really start coming up with some of the kind of the bold solutions that when we do implement them, we will be able to really make a dent in the affordability crisis that we're facing in our region.